Everybody who's been there all day and I will be going crazy, because my dad likes to come and tell me how to do everything. And then it doesn't do any of it.
You're kidding.
I know, where do I get it from?
You all set?
Good evening, Glen Rose.
That's the difference. He'll look and be like, you need blah, blah, blah. You make it.
5:30. Okay, we're gonna call together a special city council meeting for Thursday, November 21st, 2024, 5:30 PM. If you would, I'd like to call this meeting to order, and we'll start with an invocation. If you'd like to join us, you may stand.
Please join us. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for the blessings of New Day. Lord, as we look forward into the Thanksgiving season, and we have so much to be thankful for, our community, our friends, our coworkers, our family. May we always remember that they are the ones who bring joy to our lives, Lord, and we look forward to the time spent with them. As we consider the work of the business of the city of Glen Rose, Lord, may you guide our hearts like you guide the rulers, and we ask that we would make wise decisions based on the ideas that you put forth in our hearts. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God,
Under God.
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you all. Roll call, Councilman Mann.
Present.
Councilmember Schultz.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Conrad.
Present.
Councilman Freeze.
Here.
Councilman Bruning is absent. We have 4, we have a quorum. We have no citizen visitor comments. Don't believe we'll have any addresses, so I'll be brief with this. Please address the city council in an orderly, respectful manner. To address any issues or concerns or suggestions in the public comment section of this meeting. Comments of the public will last up to 3 minutes, none longer. Each person is allowed to speak once, and your time cannot be shared. Everyone silence your cell phones for the duration of the meeting. Council members will give their undivided attention to you. We ask you to do the same for them. Thanks. We are skipping over a few things. We have no public hearing. We have individual items for consideration. We're going to roll all the way down to number 9 first. Discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding changes to the definition of routine maintenance.
All right, council, this was brought to me by our HPO after the meeting recently where the CLG came to the city and did a presentation. And so these were items. She had a conflict tonight. She's in Dallas, but she's going to try to be on. I don't know if she'll be able to show on the phone. But this has been pulled from the city of Dallas and other cities in regards to what the definition of routine maintenance is. And again, trying to find best practices. But we feel like these would really help development of some of the properties that we've got without having to worry about schedules and also, you know, most cities have a definition of routine maintenance, and we feel like these kind of hit what other cities are doing. So we'd like your feedback and approval if possible.
I heard you mention that this went through our HPO. Did this go through our HPZ? Nope, HPC.
No, and but on 2 occasions, we did ask the commission to come up with a definition for routine maintenance. And the commission did not, they felt like that the current guidelines did not need to be adjusted, that people, if they buy a building that is on the square, for instance, in the overlay, that they need to bring it before the commission. Those were the exact words that we used. So On two different occasions, they were asked to come up and define routine maintenance, taking best practices, and that did not happen.
So they refused to do the request?
That is correct.
Okay. I'll share with this team, my intention, and I think I might have already maybe said it in a meeting, is next month to bring all three, the CVB, the HPC, and the PNZ to come in front of us to speak to what they've gotten done thus far that we asked them to do in August, and what they haven't gotten done and why. So that's on my agenda for December. So I would definitely love to hear from them on that.
I attended the local government, or the certified local government training that was offered Monday a couple of weeks ago, just to kind of, understand a little bit more about what that offers to us and what the kind of role was. And the one thing that the lady who offered the training was, she kind of stumbled upon, or she kind of stumbled when the question came up about, how do we handle what is considered ordinary maintenance? And, she kind of offered that, there are variations. Some cities do it this way, some cities do it that way. And I think that, kind of the question of what do you need a COA for to be able to accomplish something on your property has been it's hadn't been an impediment, but it's been a step that people have not done, for whatever reason. And I think kind of you keep coming back and you hear that, it was, a design that was forced upon them, or something that they were told to do that they didn't like, or some, this kind of back and forth. And I think that if we kind of try to put some definition to what is, what's the word? Routine maintenance. We try to put a definition to what routine maintenance is, and then engage our city staff with the HPO to try to move routine maintenance forward in the downtown area. Then I think this is a good change, and it gives our city staff and the HPO and the HPC the latitude to make those improvements in a timely manner.
So I got some of these things I have concern with when I'm looking at them. So for instance, like number C or letter C, the repair of replacement of windows or doors with same material and color. I've sat in these meetings and there's a lot more conversation than material and color. So there may be something, I remember one that was historically accurate at a 16 pane, and the people didn't want to replace it with a 16 pane. They wanted to replace it with, a standard vinyl pane. So it doesn't say anything about design. I see things of sidewalks and driveways using the same type, color, material. Well, we just didn't do that as a city. So we didn't follow this requirement. And so if we aren't going to follow what we're defining as routine maintenance, then I think that to have something go through for a review, even if it's just submitted as a, consent agenda, like here's the list, here's what it's going to be. And if it's done, you don't even have to show up. You just check mark and it's done. But I will say I joined city council because of this downtown square to make sure it's protected. And there are people that are doing great things, but somebody might want to come in and turn it into the dadgum red light district and put neon lights in every window. And we're not going to be able to say a darn thing about it if we don't have ordinances in place and we're not following our ordinances and we don't have folks that are committed to help us make sure it gets done. So I would love to hear from the commission on why they felt like they didn't need to do anything. Because I looked at the meeting minutes and saw that they actually had it on the agenda a couple months ago. And then I asked why it wasn't on the agenda this month, and it was because the meeting had been canceled. So that's when I decided I wanted to have the meeting next month, because I want to know why they're canceling meetings when there's stuff we've asked them to do that hasn't gotten done yet. So I'd want to hear from them first, but that's my 2 cents.
Any other comments?
I do agree with some of these, by the way. I like them for sure. Just wanted to go through them, and I want to hear from them on why this isn't what they came up with, and either if there's something we don't know or maybe there's something that just needs to change and be done differently, because I could see both being the case in this.
Anyone else?
I would just look at the HPO officer as an extension of the commission. And I think that the commission had an opportunity to respond, but did not choose to do so. And so I would think that I would have to lean on the HPO officer that she is representing their interests too. Because I mean, I know that they have a great relationship. So why, I mean, my question is that not sufficient? If one's not stepping up and the other one does, I mean, is that not
Well,
enough?
is that accurate? I don't know. But again,
Yeah.
that's why I'd want to hear from them. And it isn't accurate in that I know that I saw it on the agenda. I don't know what the
Mhm.
discussions were because couldn't find the video,
Right.
didn't see specifics about it in the meeting minutes.
Mhm.
But I do know it was on the agenda. And I do know that there wasn't a meeting this month. So it was on, I think, the last agenda, if not the one before. And I know from 3 different members that they were talking about working on it. So it's
Were
a good
there-
question.
was
Go,
there
what happened?
notes? I mean, were there not meeting
They're
minutes?
well, we're supposed to be getting the meeting minutes in our packets and we haven't been getting those. So
Mm,
I was able to get them for one because I needed to reach out and ask, but we don't have them and I didn't have the time to ask for them
mhm.
because I just saw it when I realized this was on the agenda.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for me, look, this is all, I mean, you think about it, you have a color palette you've already approved. You know, and then when somebody has that color palette, you know, if you didn't want them to use it, you need to redefine the color palette.
Mhm.
If they're going back with the exact same color, you know, I know on Baked, for instance, recently, the windows are not available like it,
Mhm.
like the ones that are currently on here, because they're so old. So obviously they were there to get a COA and it was granted. So I understand why you would say if you didn't use the same materials or the same color,
Or
if that's
design.
available, but if it is available, I guess I wouldn't understand why we would want somebody to have to come get a COA.
Well, that exact example doesn't reference design at all. So it says color and material.
Well, it says
The
the
repair and replacement of windows
restoration
and
of
doors.
original architectural elements with same material.
Well, when you're calling out, again, this could just be and some more time needs to be spent on writing it correctly. But when you're specifying windows and doors, so when I'm reading this, I'm going, okay, as long as my windows and doors are the same material and color, I'm cool. But that's not, there's a third element to that, which is design. And that's not in there. So maybe it's just as simple as adding the word design into it.
But wouldn't that be the same thing? If they change the design, then you elevate the application more to a HPO review along with
Correct,
the
yeah,
building
but this
official.
is defining maintenance. That doesn't require it. And the maintenance says same material and color. That's what it says.
Doesn't say anything about design.
Doesn't say a damn thing
Therefore,
about
design
design.
would be excluded.
No. Correct, if you're deducing and you're reading it, but I'm saying as a layman, as a person just looking at this, I go, okay, I'm repairing my windows and my doors. Yes, I'm matching the same material. Yes, I'm matching the same color. Cool. Those are the 2 things that have to be matched and I'm matching them. Awesome. You have to look at another issue further down. That's the original architectural elements. Are they going to take architectural elements to be a door or window? Maybe, maybe not. There's an opportunity to just be a little more clear and distinct with it. Because I personally don't have a problem with if it's the exact same door with the exact same color and the exact same design and the exact same size. I'm cool with that. Go forth and be awesome.
Oh, you fine with the other points with design added?
I got it. So if they have a building that's one color and they want to change the color, but off of the palette that we've already selected, but a different color, would that need to go? Would that be routine or
I don't
repair
think it
ordinary?
would fit any of these definitions. So if they're gonna change the color, they should come get a COA.
So if this
But
was in,
if they come to the commission and they're using a color that's been approved, it should be approved. But if they're
as a consent
changing something,
as a consent item,
No, doubtful. because it would be a design change.
Okay. So for example, baked was not baked. Crave was a pink building, right? If this was in place and they went from pink back to where it is now, would they need the COA on that?
Yes. Absolutely.
I move to adopt the amendment as as presented.
Have a second?
Did you want to add design?
No, because design would be precluded. Design would come back to a COA.
No, my point was that then you need to specify that design, same color, same material, same design. Like that's covering all of the bases on it was my point. Because if you don't specify design, then they may not know that they have to do design. So to meet that criteria, but that was my point, is that you leave out a critical component that needs to be the same as well. And that's not specified there.
But C says minor in-kind repairs or routine maintenance would include, and then you drop down and you say the repair or replacement of windows or doors with same material and color.
Mhm.
Qualifies as minor in-kind repairs or routine maintenance.
Yes, so if you have the same color and you have the same material, but you have a thoroughly different design, because you don't say the same
You're
design.
precluded. You're precluded from it because
It's
you don't
not-
match.
But
It's
it
not-
says G, minor.
Right, so
repair
that's the thing is
using
you're
the
asking
same
them-
Material and design as the original.
We have seen, if you come to these meetings on a regular or you watch them on the regular, you'll see that lots of people don't really pay attention and they have a lot of questions. So the most important thing we can do, and it's actually, I think, why it was the number one item on the list, and that's why I want to ask the question, is to get really clear communications to people. And so if I'm looking at this, I'm going, I need to update my window. Okay, cool. Okay, it says I can do my windows. I just have to do the same material and same color. That's how it's going to be read. So all I was saying was you provide a little more specificity to say it doesn't just need to be the same material and color. It also needs to be the same design. That way there's no question, because now you're asking them to consider 2 or 3 different items on here versus the one of a
So we've
window.
got in here, the HPO is also available as an additional resource and should be consulted concerning questions about minor in-kind repairs and ordinary maintenance.
Mhm.
So what is the difference if they get a COA and they don't follow what was approved as not following?
It's a great question. We should be enforcing it. We don't. That's a whole nother problem. So that's an issue of our city that we need to address, is we should be enforcing our ordinances and we don't. So I don't think it's a solid argument to say, well, we don't enforce them anyway, so who cares? We have them for a reason. We have them so they can be enforced. And we have multiple and have had multiple for months where no action has been taken on them. That's not a fair argument to say we don't prosecute for somebody can break the law. I'm not saying this is a law. I'm just saying a general theory. You can break the rules and there's no consequences. So why have rules anyways? I don't think that's a valid argument.
Okay. We had a motion, no one second.
I'll second.
All in favor? 2 to 2? I hear your point. I think it's somewhat looking down a bit. Just, won't they consider the design? Won't they?
Have you been to these meetings?
No, I haven't.
I would challenge everybody to come to a couple of, I say again, I agree with much of this. I have 3 pieces of heartburn. The first is,
Okay,
Our
we have a- we
HPC
have a
would-
motion,
yeah.
we have a second, well, to be fair, I don't think that design is going to be that big of a factor. That's just my feeling. Now, I haven't been to the meetings, that's from me. But when I look at this and I look at these and I read them when we first got the agenda, I wasn't as clear. I hear what you're saying, but
that's not my only one. When we say things like minor repair, architectural elements, that, I mean, there's a couple on here, I think that it could be fine tuned. And my bigger issue is I want to hear from the HPC on why they didn't do this. I want to hear them explain why they didn't do it or what issues they had, because they may have some experience, some subject matter expertise that I don't know about. So I think there's probably 4 words on this whole thing I would change. But I'm curious as to why this hasn't happened already.
It's a good question.
Well, I would say that our HPOs found what other cities are doing. And that if it's a issue with following up, that's a staffing issue with the Development Services Department. We have a person whose job it is to do code enforcement now. So I certainly think that we can develop a follow-up to, routine maintenance that allows us to make sure somebody's doing it.
I'm sorry, can you say that last sentence again?
I'm saying that I don't see why we can't come up with a way of checking a balance. Because look,
Yeah.
I mean, the
Okay,
goal
gotcha.
isn't that somebody skates by and doesn't do something.
It's the opposite, yeah.
The goal is that they do it, and that we get a higher probability of them doing it if they don't have to schedule meetings with the
Agreed.
HPC.
Mhm.
That's the goal. So I guess I would say, give us a chance to come up with some kind of enforcement. Maybe we could say, you still have to fill out just something and turn it
Yeah.
in saying that you're gonna do it. And give it to the
Perfect,
HPO,
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd love for it to be, you go online, you say you're doing, there's a checklist that's like, what do I want to do? Windows, click. Okay, what can I do? This, click. You fill it out, you send it in. Somebody looks at it, sends it back and goes, thumbs up, good to go. That would be ideal. But even like if I'm looking at cleaning, I would love it to say this type of material, because we've got lots of different materials that may need different types of cleanings and they may not have the expertise. So for this type of stone, use this kind of cleaning, and then make it as easy as possible for somebody to go online. I want to fix my blank.
Stay on this one.
That's your
I think.
role of your HPO. That's your HPO working with the property owners to do the development that they intend to do. If we get into the granularity of how it needs to be done in an ordinance.
No, not in an ordinance, but again, in the effort of making it simple. So you don't even have to make a phone call and get back from somebody. It's all in one stop shop. You go what you want to do, you fill out the app, it goes in. You don't have to call anybody, nobody has to call you.
That's the best of both worlds.
That's
But-
it,
But
yeah.
in the meantime, this is a good compromise to come to what is routine maintenance. And then you take your HPO with your building official or their staff and you make some type of determination of, does this fit within the realms of routine maintenance?
Troy, do you think we need to redraft or you want to leave it as it is?
I mean, I would like to get it done if we can. And I would say that if you wanted to change one thing and say the Heritage Preservation Officer is available as an additional resource, and however we want to word it, and can receive a form concerning minor in-kind repairs and ordinary needs, something like that. If you want a written record, because here's the thing, whether you get a COA or whether you don't, there still has to be a level of trust. I mean, especially when you talk about the kinds of cleaning solutions. I mean, you're not gonna know unless it takes the paint off.
That's my point. You're gonna find out when
You know
it's
what
too
I mean?
late. So why not just tell them up front and make sure they don't, when I bought my house, my guy, my plumber was like, hey, check out these pipes. Here's what you need to know about these pipes. Don't ever use this. Don't ever use that. I didn't know. I'd never had a house from 1938 before, but he told me. So now I know. That's the
Okay.
kind of stuff I'm saying.
We've got a vote, and we've got a tiebreak vote here, and I want to know if you think.
Wait, have you taken all opposed?
I'm not. All opposed to the motion? 2-2. 2 opposed, 2 for.
Is there a question?
Well, we can't change the document now and vote on that.
Yeah, we can come up with a
Look, we're
check
gonna
and
have
balance.
just so everyone knows here, we're going to have a special meeting next week on Wednesday, 10-minute meeting. This could be changed and presented in a manner that everyone could come with it.
Either way, you want to do it tonight, we can come up with a form and,
Are you comfortable with coming up with it?
Is our HPC going to be engaged in this? Because I'm not willing to bypass folks without hearing why they didn't do what we asked them to do, if that's the case, or what was the holdup.
Well, they couldn't do it. No, I mean, that's on them, not us.
Well,
If they didn't present it or it didn't come forward.
no, it's on us that we brought it before they did, so I want to know why that happened.
Because we appointed an HPO to do the work. We appointed the HPO to do the work. That's why we did it that way. And you know, that goes to the whole point of the matter. We need the HPO working with the building official to accomplish the projects and move forward. We don't need the HPO to be the gatekeeper and then go to another committee to get another agreement to do this and then come back to us to do something else. That's
That
way too
defeats
much
the purpose
redundancy.
of having a board. You have a board
No,
for
that's not
varying
true, because your
ideas.
board is there for advice. Your board is there for advice. And your
Correct.
HPO and
Yes.
your building official
Yeah.
go to your board.
Yes,
And this came out of a directive that it needed to be corrected.
but what you
needed to
just
be
said,
changed.
I don't know if that happened or not. That's my question right there. You just
You've got it
said,
in front of you right now. Your
No, you just
HPO
said
submitted it
no,
to
you just said the HPO goes to the HPC for advice. Did that happen? Was this drafted with their input? I'm asking if what you just said should be the process.
I don't
Isn't
know.
it?
I don't know if that's true or not.
They
But-
had the chance
They
twice.
had the
to
chance twice. They've had
Yeah.
multiple months to come up with something.
Literally, I'm
We
sitting in
can-
the audience and telling a member of the commission, you know, look, I mean, you know, people need something simple. The goal, again,
Mhm.
I will go back to, what is the goal? A better product. That's people that, you know, take the time to keep their buildings up, make them look good. We have way too many examples of that not happening. So I'm not sure I quite understand the desire to hang on to something that clearly needs to be adjusted somehow. Whatever that looks like.
Mhm.
I think this is a step in the right direction. And look, I completely agree about you know, something, you know, but we have the same issue anyway, when you think about it. Because if somebody paints a color that's not approved, you know, I remember Melinda talking about, she actually goes through and does the inventory. Well, that's the time that it should be noted that we would catch it. But if we come up with a form that the HPO gets when somebody's gonna do routine maintenance, all I'm doing is going back with the same color. Okay,
Agreed.
you've done it online. And then the HPO or our code enforcement can go by and just verify.
100%.
You know, I've seen enough of it. I've heard enough of it. I watched it. I watched the frustrations. I think routine maintenance is something we need badly. I'm going to vote for it. And I think we can manage it. I think we've got responsible owners that are coming in. And if they go wild and go crazy and the forms don't work, I just think we need an easier system.
Is there a commitment from this council and this staff to actually enforce when people break the rules? Because we haven't done that now for well over a year.
I think that comes without saying, and it
What?
should be that way. And I'm saying to you,
I will tell you
you know,
that.
over the next 5 months, I'll do all I can. for
Okay.
Hey,
it.
look.
Yeah.
I live it every day. I could go on and on about
29
code
months.
enforcement that we've never,
29.
ever.
No,
I think you guys are kind of hearing out there that we're starting to enforce a lot of things that we haven't in the past.
Mhm.
Because we haven't in the past, people have gotten used to doing it, but it's in the ordinances. And if we want to change the ordinances, we can do that. You can do it. And then we'll enforce whatever you guys pick. But it's still in there, and that's what we're gonna do.
all right, 3-2 passes. We got item 14, discussion, consideration, and possible action on trash rates for the city of Glen Rose.
Is Latia here? Did Did you want to talk about that, Veronica? Or
Oh.
this is just an
Yeah.
approval over the
Mhm.
the recent increase that they brought to you guys.
It's contractual.
Correct. So. And we just went up the same percentage. So
Just a flat 7 across,
Yeah,
no.
there wasn't
no
any
increase.
additional.
And this was based on the rate that we had rebalanced, right?
Correct.
It looked like it, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it is.
It is what it is.
But I'd like to make a motion.
I'll move that we approve as presented.
A second.
Second by Councilmember Mann. All in favor? 4-0 passes new rates. Okay, we have a consent agenda we'd like to address. We only have one. It's consider approval or other action regarding the minutes of the November 12th, 2024 regular city council meeting. Any questions? Do I have a motion to
Move,
approve the consent agenda?
move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Second by Councilmember Mann. All in favor? 4-0 passes.
I feel like Ricky Bobby.
Okay. At this time, we're going to, before we go to executive session, I'm going to announce a request for a special meeting on Wednesday. No more than a few minutes. I know you can't be there, Candace. I'm hoping Richard can be. We have a discussion item and it will be put online tomorrow. I can't discuss it here now, only that I need a special meeting for one item. And can you guys, the three of you, I know Candace can you be here on Wednesday? And what time would work?
I can,
I'm free all day
and
Wednesday.
whatever,
I say we do it in the morning, be done with it.
don't make me be here at 8 in the morning.
No.
Okay. Give me, how about, is
Let's
10
call it-
okay?
Let's call it 10. You okay with that?
Could we go a little bit earlier? We're supposed to make
Yes.
stuffing.
I
I demanded
can
that
swing
help
9,
make
I
stuffing.
can swing 9, I just am gonna have bags under my
Okay,
eyes,
we're
but
gonna put
yes.
online, please, if you did it first thing in
I'll
the
log
morning.
in. I can
Can
call
we,
in.
can we go with 2 items on that, or we can just have that
You're
one?
so close.
Well, given the
I'm off, I
holiday
wanna
and
sleep
such, if
in.
we can wait on the other, I would like. You okay with that?
Yes. I mean, it should be quick, but yeah.
Well,
What was it, 10?
yeah, I'd like to
You
stick
said
with
9
one item.
a.m.?
Okay.
9 a.m. If you'll post that in the morning, first thing, Veronica.
Do I just call you, Veronica? Because I can call in.
I can get you a.
Wednesday, the 27th.
Yes,
Got it.
That'll work.
I
If
might
she
be in my
calls in, can she
pajamas.
that's
vote?
all right. Rollers in your hair.
Yes.
Okay, with that, we're going to move to executive session. We will move to executive session in accordance with the provisions of the Texas Open Meetings Law, Subchapter D, Government Code, Vernon's Texas Codes, annotated in accordance with, following the provisions of the Texas Open Meetings Law concerning the evaluation, employment, appointment, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee concerning a city secretary.
Are you gonna go back there with us and come back out?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, well,
You
I've got some. What
don't
time?
make your wife get mad at us.
Yeah.
It's 6:04.
We have to have 4 people vote, we're not gonna vote. I'm gonna move the chair to Demetri Conrad and excuse myself. And we have one candidate, if you'll go back, and you'll be in charge of the meeting. And we are ending the regular meeting at 6:04 PM. And if you just call it to order when you,
One candidate or 2?
one at a time.
Oh, okay,
Sorry, the other candidate, Kathy, has not arrived yet.
okay.
So I'll wait a few minutes and wait on her, but
Okay, we are back in session at 7:51 PM. We have, our next agenda item is agenda item 17, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding matters discussed in executive session, section 551.074, personnel matters, city secretary. There is no action taken. And then just to be clear, the other items that we did not discuss, we are not having on today's agenda, so that adjourns today's meeting,
At
7:52 PM.
Oh, thank you, Lord. So nice.
Is this for George?
y'all were having late.